The country's new tourism leader clearing the air over talks with Baha officials. Good evening, everyone. I'm Altaviz Munnings.
I'm Keishla Adderley. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Topping the news, following accusations from opposition critics over recent Baha talks, the tourism minister is now setting the record straight.
And he minced no words as he discussed the issue with our Janae Noel Ferguson.
Mr. Roberts got to go sit down.
Strong words for PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts from Tourism Minister Dionisio de Aguilar. This after Roberts would have accused him and Prime Minister Hubert Minnis of a conflict of interest following a meeting with Baha executives. Now, de Aguilar not only fired back at Roberts, but also explained the purpose of that meeting.
I went down in my capacity as the Minister of Tourism to learn about the tourism sector. This is a part of the tourism sector. I didn't go down there to discuss ownership. I went down there to discuss what their plans were for growing occupancy, growing visitor arrivals to the country, what their marketing plan was, and they invited me to come. And I've been to Atlantis. I've been to the Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board. So, of course, they're a major stakeholder in our tourism sector. Makes sense for me to go down. It makes good business sense.
Now, in a statement, Roberts noted that de Aguilar sat as a member of the board of Baha, voting to put the resort into Chapter 11 bankruptcy in Delaware. De Aguilar maintained, however, that there was no conflict, but he did express his concerns about the multi-billion-dollar Baha resort.
The surprisingly low occupancy levels of that property right now, they're under 25%. Obviously, they've made a decision, which I don't fault, to open it on a staggered basis, and when they're ready and when people are trained, they're going to open more rooms. And I think they indicated to me that they were opening SLS in September or October of this year, and they intended to open the Rosewood in March or April of next year. So those are perfectly reasonable deadlines, and I guess that's how they figured they wanted to roll it out. I mean, I believe that they probably opened prematurely in order to fulfill an obligation to the previous government. And as a result, they're running extremely low occupancies, and they haven't rolled out in a sustained way their marketing plan.
Now, the tourism minister added that he and the Baha president, Graham Davis, along with other stakeholders, are continuing to work with a common goal of improving the tourism product.
But Mr. Davis is a part of the Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board, and I'm sure I will see him, and I want to create an advisory group of senior members of our tourism sector. I mean, this is just, we have a goal, which is to grow the amount of visitors to our country, to grow the average room rate that they have. And I don't want occupancy levels at Baha to grow at the expense of other hotels.
And as for Roberts, de Aguilar had this word of advice.
He needs to understand that his party took an enormous thumping on May the 10th. And every single one of his cabinet ministers, bar two, lost their seat, including a sitting prime minister. The first time in our 44-year history. So he needs to go into a room and sit small and try and figure out what went wrong instead of continuing on the same strategy that he has done over and over again. It ain't gonna work.
Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.